Okay, the first clone we're going to install is the Very Secure clone. Now, I've made well over 6 figures just selling this particular clone throughout the years. The great thing about this clone is it's a completely integrated system. You don't have to install WordPress. You do have to install a database to start with, but that's very simple compared with uploading all the plugins, configuring them, and everything like that. So it's ready to go. I'm going to show you exactly what to do. We have this file right here called the Completely Secure Clone. You'll download that from the site. I have this currently in a temporary directory. So this is the complete zip file. I've unzipped it. In here you'll find the zip file for Backup Buddy. You'll also find the Import Buddy PHP file. You want to use both of these to install your site. The README file and the Notepad file is the Backup Buddy authentication password. You'll need that to actually install the clone. And then, of course, the WordPress dashboard login. And that would be your username and your password. I suggest that you change these, the password at least. The username is fine the way it is, but the password, you really need to make it secure, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Okay, so we're going to install this in a directory or a site that I already have, which is right here. Right, there's nothing in this site. You see right here, it's the top level of the tree, index of. There's nothing in there. So we're going to open cPanel, and I'll show you exactly what is in there. You want to make sure that there is absolutely nothing in the directory, because once you install the clone, it's going to overwrite everything that's in the directory. So if you have an existing WordPress site, you won't be able to install it. Well, you will be able to install it, but it'll overwrite your old site. That's basically it. It'll just completely blow away your old site. And it will be a completely secure, very secure clone, but your old site will cease to exist. That's the point I'm trying to make. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create a database. I use the database wizard. You can use whatever you want. You can do it manually if you like. I just like the wizard. It's easier to flow through it. And I'm going to create my database and my user. I'm going to generate my password. I'm going to copy out my password because we're going to use that to install the clone. I want to check this box, use password, create the user, give the user all privileges. Now your cPanel may look a little bit differently, but it's the same functionality. Create the database, create the user, give the user all privileges. All right, so that's basically it. Now we're going to upload the files that I just showed you. So we're going to come over here to this temp directory, and we're going to upload. Now, if you've unzipped them, just upload the Import Buddy and the Backup Buddy zip file. I'm just going to upload the Completely Secure clone because it's very small. It's about it's less than 20 megabyte, and it'll upload very quickly, and I won't have to upload both of the other files separately. Now you can use the built-in file manager to do this. You can do it via FTP. However you upload your files to your server, I suggest that you use what's familiar to you. So we're going to reload this. You can see that the Completely Secure clone is here. I'm going to extract the files. Now it's going to leave the README in here, so or the text file. I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to delete the main zip file. The only two files that should be in here are the Import Buddy PHP and your zip file. And if we click on that link, you'll see right here the index tree now has Import Buddy PHP and the zip file for Import Buddy. Now, there are some hosting companies that you won't be able to see this. It'll just be a blank page. And that's because they set an htaccess file so that you can't see the directory tree. You can't scan the tree. That's for security purposes. So if you're doing that, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you can see hidden files. And that's within your cPanel. You'll have to check with your hosting. Lots of hostings do it differently, but you want to make sure that you can see the hidden files. If you don't want to jump through those hoops, then simply just go to your URL, type in /import buddy PHP, and that will bring up the installation script. All right, now we want to put in our password, so you have that on your README file. We want to authenticate, and then we're going to restore the backup. I'm going to display the status log. So I keep the prefix exactly the same. By default, it's WP _. I never use that. So you can come up with your own prefix. That's perfectly fine. We're going to drop our password in. Remember, we saved our password, so I'm going to grab that. And the database name and the database user will be found right here. So I'm just going to copy that. Actually, I can just forward that because it's exactly the same thing. And I'm going to do the next step. So we're restoring the database. It says that was successful. We're going to do the next step. And that was successful also. Now we're going to finish the cleanup. So this is going to clean up any files that were created, temporary files, directories, that sort of thing that Backup Buddy has created. And then we're going to click on the site. It'll take you right out to the site. Very secure WordPress clone. Now I'm going to log into that site using WP admin and the test. Now once you get in here, you'll see your main plugin, WP Toolkit. It's on the left-hand sidebar. So I'm going to click on plugins. There is one or two other plugins that I'm going to install to complete the security. And I just wanted to show you this so that you know exactly what to do. I'm going to come out here to iThemes Security Pro, and I'm going to install iThemes Security Pro. Now, I have been using iThemes Security Pro and WordFence and Backup Buddy for years, and they have never failed me. They are powerful, powerful security plugins. I've built well over 1,500 WordPress sites. None have ever been hacked, and it's because I use these very powerful security plugins. But not just one plugin. I use a combination of these. So we need to go ahead and configure the security plugins. So we'll come over here to iThemes Settings, and I'm going to click on All. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff in here that you need to make sure you configure. We're going to configure the settings. So we just clicked on General Global Settings, and you want to put your notification email and a backup email in. And then we want to scroll down a little bit here, and we want to add our current IP. You can erase these two IPs. Whatever your IP is, add that to the current lockout whitelist. You want to be able to get access to your site. All the rest of the configurations are set for you. You can check disable proxy if you want. But other than that, save the settings, and you're good to go there. Now for the security check, you just saw me do that. We're just going to secure the site. It's just that simple. The site is now secure. It's done all the configuration, and our email address is under global settings. Now, some of the other things you want to take a look at if you want to kind of go in and configure this, it's really all done. You don't really have to do anything else. What I would suggest is two-factor authentication. Now, you want to make sure that any users that you have, we're going to have WP admin here. We want to make sure that your email is set up with WP admin. So set that up, then configure your two-factor authentication. Because what will happen is it will fire off a code, and it'll send that code to your email. And if you have this email in here by default, your email goes here at someemail.com. You'll never get the email. So therefore, you'll have to reinstall it, or you'll have to go to phpMyAdmin and change that. We don't want to mess around with that stuff. So what I would do is, this is just your backdoor, change your email, and then I would create a new user. So I'm going to do that right here. This is Easy Snow, and then my email, Easy Bay Pro, first name Guy. We're going to copy this password down. Because this is very secure, very strong, as you can see right here. And then I'm going to send myself an email. Make sure that you configure your role as administrator. If you just keep it as subscriber, then you won't have administrative rights to the dashboard. So you're going to add your new user, which we've done. So here we are right here. We've got our new user. So if I go to log in here, I'm going to log out. Actually, I'm going to change my profile to from the dark to the light theme. I don't care for the dark, but that's just me. That's personal preference. I'm going to log out, and then we're going to log in. As you see, it just fired off a verification code to WP-admin. That's because my LastPass is set up. I'm going to type in AZ Snow, and then that very secure password. It's going to, and we're using two-factor authentication. So even though you have the username and the password, you still have to authenticate. That's the beauty of two-factor authentication. You're going to get your verification code in the mail. It will fire this off to your email. And once you get your verification code, you'll be able to drop that in and verify yourself. And this should, depending on the speed of your server and how they set up their email, whoever your host is, it may take a few minutes to get the confirmation code. Now, if you don't get your confirmation code in just a few minutes, I mean, I wouldn't wait more than 5 minutes. Sign into your email and check your spam folder, because many times the way that email is set up, if it's Gmail or something like that, it doesn't know who's sending this email. It doesn't know that address. As you see right here, my confirmation code ended up in spam. So we're going to check this. We're going to say, no, this is not spam. I'm going to grab the confirmation code first. Not spam. So that'll basically whitelist it. And then we're going to drop the verification code into our screen, check login, and this will take us over to our dashboard and login. Now, I'm not going to save the site. All right, so we've set up our security. When you want to check your logs for iThemes. Your logs will actually, every 24 hours will be reset, so you don't need to worry about this size of this file getting large. But just keep an eye on it. It's very good when you first log in to check your dashboard, because that will give you an overall view of, hey, who came from where, the top 5 IPs blocked, the top countries, the logins, attempts, if iThemes is, how many times it's protected you from attack, and if there are any hosts or users that are locked out due to whatever. They forgot their username and they got locked out, or they tried to log in using something that's not in the database, a user, if it's a membership site, they got locked out. The great thing about WordFence now, I'm going to show you how to configure WordFence, because it is a very powerful sister or brother, if you will, to iThemes. Using these in conjunction with each other, you have the best security absolutely possible. You have Backup Buddy, so I would suggest that once you configure everything, that you do a backup of your site, and then you can always go into Backup Buddy and do schedules, and then schedule your backups and send them out to S3 Amazon or Dropbox or wherever you want to send them to. Now in here, in WordFence, everything is configured except for a couple of things. What I do is immediately block the IP of users who try to sign in as, and I use admin, administrator, root, system. Those are the main things that you'll see that people will try to use. Occasionally, you'll get an attack and somebody will try a hinky something at an email address. But these are the main attacks you're going to get off the botnet: admin, administrator, root, and system. Save those, save the options. Now, anytime someone tries to log in using admin, administrator, whatever it is, they're going to get locked out. I'm going to illustrate that in just a minute. It's going to lock me out, but I'm going to show you exactly what happens. One of the neat things with WordFence is you can actually view your live traffic. It's on real time. So you can see where people are coming from. Bots, you can see attacks. Oh, this was a long time ago. I guess I kept that in the database. Well, actually not. It looks like 4 hours and 1 minute ago, someone tried to sign in, and it was automatically blocked. Now, what you can do is you can unblock the IP if it's an IP that you recognize, or you can simply block the whole network. You can say, hey, I don't want anyone attacking me off of this network. So what you can do is you can come out here to the either the net range or the CIDR. Now the CIDR is going to be huge. It's going to give you lots of addresses. In this case, it's going to have 15 addresses because this is a CIDR off of CIDR, which is basically a network term off of UUNet. So I'm going to block all the addresses here. 16, and the reason for blocking is attack. You can put anything in there. So I'm going to block visitors. So what this does is if this person is attacking you, and it's not a botnet, it's not automated, it's actually a live person, usually a script kiddie, and they're trying to get into your WordPress site, you can shut them down. And unless they're using a proxy and changing their IP or VPN or something like that, if they try to, and let's just say that they're on a DSL or something that changes the IPs frequently with the DHCP, if they have another range that they get added to other than this off of another CIDR block, you'll have to block that also. But as a general rule, you'll shut them down right there. So back over to live traffic. It's really interesting to take a look at this stuff. I love this stuff, and I guess that's from my security background. I like to see who, in fact, see 33 minutes ago. Oh, this is Sucuri. This is a bot from SecurityNet. They're just spidering the site. Santa Fe is blocked. The red blocks. The yellow is caution. And that's all the traffic. Oh, it pops some more up here. United Kingdom. Where's that from? Komodo. Okay, so that's fine. It's Secure Komodo and Sucuri. Any of those spiders that spider your site, they're just trying to find out information. But what you have to be concerned about is the red blocks, because those are actual attacks. You don't really have to watch that. I just like to come over and kind of cruise it every once in a while. But what happens automatically, we're going to show you here. So I'm going to get crazy. I'm going to log out. And I'm going to try to log back in using something other than, I'm going to try administrator. Or admin. Try admin. That's a lot easier. And then I'll just come up with any password. Because what happens, I've already tried to log in. See right here, your access to the site has been limited. Now, if this was a user, they would have an email. So they would put their email in here, send me an unlocked email, and this would basically give them an opportunity to unlock the site. I'm going to put my email in here, send me an unlocked email, And so it sent out a unlock instructions. So this is if you have a membership site. This is, well, it could be for you if you lock yourself out. But what I like to do is I use a VPN. So I'm just going to fire Hideaway. And I'm going to redirect all computer traffic through LA. And so it's redirecting. I have a totally different IP address. So let's go out here to another browser so I don't have to mess around with that. So we're going to go paste and go. LA may be down. Let's do Oregon. All right. So I'm going to click on Login. And you can see that it already fired my verification code. I'm going to try Easy Snow. And I'll need that really long password to drop in here to get access. And again, it's going to send me a verification. Oh, it switched over. So that it popped the verification code. So we'll pop on over here to okay, here's our verification code. We got it very quickly that time. And we're going to put this in. Take out the space. It always does that when I copy and paste. And now we're into the dashboard. All right, so this is a very powerful clone. You can build a security business just off of this clone. And look at all the plugins you get with the Toolkit plugin. There's over 600 plugins and themes that you can use on your site now just because you purchased this program. Now, anything, once you come in here, you can say update available, and there's nothing available. You'll see what's installed: Backup Buddy, iTheme Security Pro, and WP Toolkit. Anytime these need to be updated, you'll update them through Toolkit. You will not update them through plugins, because what happens is iThemes wants to license these, and you don't have a license for them unless you buy a developer license. But you can keep them updated very easily through WP Toolkit. That's the whole idea here. Very powerful plugin. Lots of things that you can add. You can go in here and just play around. There's actually a membership plugin that you can create a membership site. There's actually a couple of them. iThemes Exchange has. Go down here. Exchange is a membership site. Very powerful. So you can play around with that, build your security business, sell the plugin, or sell the clone, have fun with it, and now you have a very secure clone using iTheme Security Pro, Backup Buddy, and WordFence. I really appreciate you coming to the webinar today to get this information. I hope you make tons of money with your security business, and I'll see you on the next webinar next week.